over a month now. I think our last show was June 1st. Welcome back. A lot has happened. Today's episode, we're going to sit down and talk about the Big Ten conference expansions and what's coming up with all like what this could lead to possibly throughout the whole NCAA football and basketball and pretty much any sport. Uh, we'll get rolling right on in on that, Ben. Uh, so USC, UCLA coming to the Big Ten starting in 2024,
Yep.
making the Big Ten officially the Big 16. I mean, what led to this? What do you think it's going to become? I mean, you already see Texas and Oklahoma and the SEC pretty much doing the same thing. So,
Yeah, the bottom line is what led to this is greed, right? Nobody wants to get left out. The NIL, I think, greatly contributed to the expedition of this. I feel like it's been headed this way for a long time. Excuse me, but the writing's on the wall. The game is changing almost by the day. I really like the USC for football. UCLA, they've had their moments here and there, but they're kind of mediocre. I really like UCLA for basketball and USC. They've had their times. I wouldn't quite call them mediocre in basketball, but they're not a blue blood or anything. But they've certainly had their moments. So I think those are great additions. They're better than Maryland and Rutgers.
Rutgers just needs to get out of the conference.
And last night I was watching PTI and Kornheiser and Wilbon both believe that we're eventually going to get to a 50-team super conference, and I don't see that. I'd have laughed at that a year or two ago, but I don't see that as out of the question. My train of thought has been we're going to have a couple 25-team mega conferences, and maybe as far as the football goes, maybe see whatever the top eight teams from each conference form the college football playoff eventually. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think it's definitely got to do with greed. I mean, one big thing, money talks, right?
Yeah.
The Big Ten now owns three of the biggest media outlets in the country with Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York.
Yep.
I mean, Rutgers covers that in New York, and then obviously having the Big Ten tournament there every few years for basketball, that helps with New York, and then now bringing in USC and UCLA, that's going to take over. I mean, like I said, the three biggest media outlets is going to be it's phenomenal for the conference, and it's going to be hard to compete with. The SEC is going to be able to just because it's SEC, but that's why you have more teams from the Pac-12 like Oregon, Washington, trying to jump ship. When you go back to super conferences, I think super conferences is definitely a thing coming, whether it's one big conference, two. But I definitely think you're going to see an FBS Division I cut down in teams.
Absolutely.
I think you're not going to have, what is there now, 130 or something like that?
Yeah, 132, I think.
Might be more at this point. I think there's definitely going to be cut downs where teams are either going to go to FCS or even make just a regular FBS Division 1A or something like that. The one there is the one really, really good thing that I like about this is that I think we're gonna have like an NFL setup. I think that's kind of what we'll do. I think we'll do maybe 225, 230, 25, 30 team conferences. And you're obviously I think you're gonna have divisions. Then just how the NFL runs it, at least for league wise. But the good thing about it is I think it's going to make them expand the playoffs. I mean, not gonna. I think it has to make them expand the playoffs. So this is what it's gonna do.
Well, I think this is probably 75% of what it's all about.
I mean, you can't in a conference, not conference, in a level this big of football. I mean, especially Division One. I get it. You want to start out with 4 to try it out, but it's been almost 10 years now. I believe, right? It started in 2013.
I
They
believe
started
so.
the you have to expand on them at this point. 4 teams, it's not as exciting as if we even had 8 teams in it. I would prefer to see 12 to 16. Um, but it's not. It's just not as exciting. I think that's something that this is really going to force to be able to expand the playoffs.
Right, right. So yeah, it was 2014. I just looked it up, and that's when I guess it would have been Delaney at the time added Rutgers and Maryland too, right?
Yeah.
So he was
Can we
he
get?
was
We need to get rid of Rutgers and
yeah
Maryland.
he was.
Honestly,
I think he was preparing for what he thought might be coming. But and when he did that, um, yeah, I never cared for the guy, but I thought he did a pretty good job as a commissioner. And that wasn't about competitiveness, right? That was about locking down the New York market. Um, and now we're talking about $1 billion deal for the Big Ten. And that's as we sit now. Um, I'd be shocked if by the time the season starts, Notre Dame doesn't join either the SEC or us. As we talked about earlier, there's talks of Oregon and Washington, talks of
yeah. See,
Duke and North Carolina. Um, you
I mean,
know,
Oregon and Washington, like everyone's pretty much right at this point have been told that the requests have been put on hold till we let little old Catholic Notre Dame decide that they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Which to me, I pretty much say fuck them because they had their opportunity to come in the league multiple times now, and they don't even
right.
want to shoot. They don't even want to play any Big Ten teams really.
Well, and that's the thing. They like the independent money, right? But now the contracts are at the point where they're going to get more money by joining a conference. But also, um, they got a pretty easy road to the CFP. If they have a 1-loss season, they traditionally they don't play a soft schedule, but they don't play the schedules that the conference guys get. And
If they join the Big Ten, they win 8 to 9 games every year. No more than that ever. Big Ten will absolutely not let them win more than 9 games a year.
and I agree with that. That's probably a fair assessment. I mean, and with the exception of maybe 10 universities in the country, nine-win season's pretty fucking good. Us one of them. Notre Dame's one of them right now. Michigan State, who's been a national powerhouse since when they invented the sport. They piss their pants every year for 9 wins.
I mean, shit, they're just.
As long as one of them includes beating us.
I mean, shit. Michigan State's pissing their pants over their recruiting right now, and they haven't even got a. I don't even think they've got a top 150 recruit yet
Right.
in this recruiting class. And I'm like, okay, y'all have fun. I mean, I'm not going to talk too much until that season's played, but yeah, I mean, I don't. Okay, let's go back to. I'm about to go off on a rant, and I don't need to. It's going to
So
take
it's
us way off
interesting. I was
schedule.
just holding my thought for a minute and I lost it. I read an article today. Yeah, they're just talking about seeing if I could trigger myself. I can't remember, but it was on Twitter. It's very interesting. It was talking about kind of the cause and effects. Jake Butts had some really good thoughts too. That's not who wrote that article, but shoot, I can't remember. But it brought up a couple points that I hadn't thought about, and that doesn't happen very often. I'm usually pretty thorough in that type of thought process. Man, maybe it'll come to me here in a little bit, but there's a lot going on behind this, And one of the things is that the schools, um, they need this money. I okay, I remember now. I don't remember who wrote it, but they need this money to compete NIL wise. And one
Mm-hmm.
of the things they
Yeah.
said was the schools that are ahead in NIL are the schools that have been playing the bagman for years. And I guess I really hadn't thought about it that way, and that is a reason why Michigan has been behind. Um, is not that they never broke any rules, because I think they were doing 30 and a 25 where everyone else is doing 55 and a 25.
Yeah.
Your top 10 players and all that. Every school breaks the line in some sort. But the other thing I thought that was really interesting was in that article there was an interview with I can't think of his name right now, but UCLA's AD is that they were over, I want to say it was over $300 million in debt, the athletic department, in the last 3 years. And he's like, listen, we were cutting sports this year. We were
Make
cutting sports.
bones.
That's why we were that was the big reason why we joined. He said, because we went from, I don't think it was 300. I think it was 100 something million in the hole to, he says, with our new partnership with the Big Ten, we're in the black. And for years, we've been trying to stay afloat instead of improving our facilities and making improvements in a lot of areas in athletics. And he said we were putting band-aids on fixes. We didn't have the money to do it, and this is going to enable us to do it. And that just really took me aback that when you think about college sports, and again primarily basketball, right? But at least for me and my generation, UCLA is right at the top. I grew up at the tail end of the John Wooden
The John
days.
Wooden era. Yeah.
When they were just a machine. It was UCLA, UCLA, UCLA. It seemed like at the time, half the players in the NBA, UCLA, UCLA. So to see a facility in Southern California where there's a lot of money, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
It's struggling
With
like that financially. That was a shock to me.
especially because I mean UCLA does. I mean they have the donors. I
Right.
mean they have to have the donors still, but it's just being that far behind and not being able to compete with schools and aren't really, as you said. I think UCLA is one of those teams who probably honestly was probably doing more of a 26, 27 more than a 30, even a 30 and a 25 during those times. I mean,
Right.
it's UCLA. Um, I do have a quick question. I know we kind of talked about it, but overall, do you think it's going to have a positive or negative effect on the college football world?
So, what do you mean by the college football world?
Sorry. Like, I mean, Division One, obviously, with the CFP, um, is you're going to see more negative effects from it, staging from more teams not wanting to be in it because they can't get into certain conferences. Say they're picking teams. I mean, obviously, if we do it, they do go to a 2-team conference. They're going to end up having, or not 2-team conferences. I'm sorry, a 2-conference Division One. There's going to be teams that are going to be left out that think they deserve to be there. Is that going to start things that could be bad for the NCAA Division One era football era, or do you think it's going to be mostly positive outcomes like
So
playoff
from
expansions?
a traditional college football standpoint, I think it's the worst thing that could ever happen for college football, as I know it growing up, and as you knew it growing up, is dead.
I mean,
It's
it has been.
and it's been working that way, right? But this is that final stake in the heart. Um, I think, um, you know, I don't think in the foreseeable future we're going to lose Ohio State, Michigan State, but Um, I don't think that's. I don't think it. I think it's probably going to happen in my lifetime, and for sure in your lifetime. So college. As you know, I don't watch a shit ton of professional sports anymore. And when you were growing up till you were a teenager, that was pretty much all we had on the TV was sports. Um, and you got all these guys playing for money, and the NIL. I long advocated for those players to be paid. Um, I like the model that's come out, but as with anything, people have taken and exploited it, and you get these kids that are still in high school getting $1 million, multi-million-dollar deals, um, walking into a campus. It's kind of like the Tom Brady, Drew Henson thing, where there was a lot of pressure on Lloyd Carr to play
Yeah.
Henson, even though he felt Brady was the better guy. And that affects locker room chemistry, team chemistry. Um, Man, it's so in depth, and I also think in the long term that we're going to see a lot of colleges, and not maybe these guys specifically, but like your Boise States, maybe your Gonzagas in basketball. And Gonzaga is not a good example, but I think you're going to see a lot of schools not have um,
Success
major
or
programs. They're going to
okay.
drop down a division because they just can't afford to compete with with uh, with the big boys. There's going to be, and there always has been to an extent, right? 20 big boys and the rest, but a lot of changes. Boy, man, I could my my brain's going a million miles an hour about all the things that I've thought about. I hate it for the traditional
Hmm.
aspect of the sport, but times change, things grow, right? And um, from the competitive standpoint, and having um, different teams available to play on a regular basis. We would only ever played before the CFP. We would have only played UCLA or USC in the Rose Bowl. So that's cool, but yeah, I got a lot of mixed emotions about it. Um, I think it's probably over and all a positive, but growing up watching the sport that I love change so dramatically kind of sucks too.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, like you said, even from when I was a kid, it's even changed just from when I started watching it. I mean,
Right.
from BCS era to CFP era to now the Super Conference era. Um, I mean, I think since in the past 20 years, probably college football changed the most that it even ever has in the history of college football.
Absolutely. College football has changed more in the last
Yeah.
15 years, say, than it has in I know my lifetime. Um, so that part's sad, but advance and adapt, right? And I get it. There's some really good positives that have come out of it. And number one is is the players to be able to get their compensation. But I do think, and I know we're going to get into NIL a little more in depth, that you know right now people are using it as a recruiting tool to sign guys, and that wasn't the intent. It's against the NCAA rules, but nobody gives a fuck about the NCAA rules, right? And in a lot of states, including Michigan, it's against the law to do that. And apparently, that's a big part of why Michigan is saying, "Yeah, we're not doing that." I'd like to see it incentivized. Maybe you know everybody across the board say gets 50 grand, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're top 10 in tackles or top 10 in receptions or QBR or whatever it may be, maybe that's another, if you're top 25, maybe that's another 25 grand. If you're top 10, maybe that's another 50 grand. If you're number one, maybe that's another 100 grand. And I'd like to see them throw in some academic ties too. I think eventually, here's another thing, and I know I'm all over the places.
No, like I said, keep actually, if you want to roll in NIL, roll in because uh, I originally didn't have that on the schedule, so but I'm fine with that.
Okay, I thought I seen it on the schedule, but maybe not.
I'm mostly like over. Like I think I'm done talking about the super conferences right now. I think they kind of go together anyway. So as
They do. I don't think we're where we're at today without the NIL happening last year. I just don't. I think it probably would have happened eventually, but the NIL kicked a lot of things that even a lot of people that are big players nationally athletically didn't think about or didn't expect to happen or didn't expect to happen this quickly. It's caught a lot of people off guard. So shoot, I forgot where I was going.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. So I think it should be incentivized, right?
Yeah, that's right. You said each team gets like 50,000.
Yeah.
To start, and then if something goes down, where say you lead in tackles, you lead in passing touchdowns, whatever, you get more and more money.
You got a 3.0 or higher, you get another $5,000 a class, or what, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Oh, hang on. Are you talking about incentive for each player, or the program, or both? I mean, because
I guess both.
Because but you're saying
I'm saying individually.
Okay,
because
for the player.
Here you got Johnny on the spot, right? That comes in, signed a $2 million NIL deal, has never played a game, and he shows up the first day at the big house for practice, or at Al Glick's practice facility, and says, he's just not going to be as hungry. It's human nature as he is. He comes in, he's got something to prove, and he's already got $2 million in his pocket. He rolls up and whatever. And, you got Bubba, the offensive lineman that's been there 3 years, that's in his fucking 1989 Escort GT, because that's all his mom and dad can afford. There's going to be some animosity there. And I just, that's part of losing the traditional college thing. The team is going away, and it's going to be more about me and me and me. It's going to be, in my opinion, football wise, another version of the NFL. I wouldn't even say a minor league. I just think it's going to be another version of a professional sports. And I wouldn't be surprised that we're going back to the super conference thing here real quick, but if I think the NCAA is going to dissolve in the next 5 to 10 years. And when the NCAA dissolves, that's going to dissolve the NCAA tournament. And of course, there'll be another version of it because that's the most successful thing in sports and one of the most watched things in sports. But, then maybe now, if we're at those 2 super conferences at that point, it's a 50 team thing instead of 64, or maybe these peon leagues that aren't joining the super conference, maybe there's 50 from the super conference, if that's how many teams we have, or 225s, whatever the math works out to be. Maybe give 5 conference each, 3 at large bids, and see how it works out. But man, it's so complicated. There's so many tangibles involved, and it's going to be exciting to see what happens. But it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. I mean, like you said, it's a lot to put together. I honestly, I'm excited for it all. Just to kind of see where it goes.
Yeah,
at least the super conference stuff. I mean, I agree. I think there is no set precedence really at this point for you, as you said, for the NIL, and the NIL to me is not at all doing what it's meant to do.
Right.
It's like you said, it's been blown out of proportion. It's been kicked. Pretty much what it was meant to do has been kicked to the curb, and now everyone's like money, money, money. And as you said, you're gonna have that 5th-year senior you're gonna have that freshman who comes in with a brand new Lambo and end up just pretty much killing the team philosophy. I mean, everything you said is pretty much what I was gonna say about it. I was trying to find an article that I read about it. But I think it was pretty much something like that, where someone had written an article about how they're okay with Michigan not doing that, because Michigan Oh, I remember. I wasn't an article. It was just a regular tweet. I don't remember exactly by who, but it said after seeing Michigan's team, uh, like the way that the team went together last year and the amount of people were returning,
Yeah.
like that it's pretty much okay that we aren't doing everything that they're doing because I mean, in my opinion, I think teamwork and things like the way that our team played last season, I pretty much teamwork makes the dream work, in my opinion. And
Yep.
I mean, you should today. I shared that video of at least on my personal Twitter. I think I might have shared it on the of during the Michigan Ohio State game when not Ronnie Bell, who's Roman Wilson got his helmet ripped off
Right.
while he's laying on the ground, and the offensive line, well, not even just the offensive linemen, the offensive linemen were there first, but everybody was there on one dude in about 30 seconds.
Right.
I mean, when you have I can't think of the word when you like gel together, but when you can gel together like that as a team, there's not, it just sucks to be able to like, to have something that can rip a team apart like that. And that's something that, in my opinion, the NIL is going to do for a lot of teams that maybe had that compatibility to gel together like that. Um, but so going on now to go back on it, we can. I was just gonna move on. Troy Weaver, man, making some moves in the D in the
Yes,
past two or
sir.
3 weeks. I'm not getting excited though because Tiger's supposed to make moves too, but and we all see where they're at right now. But it looks promising, and I mean, what we went like how long without seeing a Detroit team in the playoffs? I
Right.
think the Pistons were the last one, and that was in like 2018 when they made the playoffs. Um, I mean, you have. Let me pull up my notes here again. I mean, bringing in drafting Jaden Ivey and then trading for Jalen Duran. I mean, just on draft night, those two moves were phenomenal. But since then, they've signed Marvin Bagley, they've signed Kevin Knox, they traded for Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel. I mean, then obviously you have Cade. You have Cade Cunningham already on the team, and a lot of young talent. Um, I don't dare say it, but hopefully this can help build the dynasty up, and hopefully we can get there and make it how the Warriors have done it. And I mean, the Warriors are all built, not bought.
Right. And so, a couple things with that, right, is number one, we got to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, we have to got to get a little bit lucky because when you got, we got three new guys who all have the potential to be superstars, right? Almost like a Harden, Durant, Westbrook situation. And if they all this, I mean, if somebody, you can't max them all out, right? And I mean, we're talking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, but you can't max them all out, and somebody's got to go unless they all really like each other and they all decide that winning championships is more important than being the highest paid at their position or whatever it is in the league. And the odds of that are extremely unlikely, and that's jumping way ahead to assume that one doesn't have like a Grant Hill type injury, or and two that there's some chemistry and they win. But man, I really like what Troy Weaver did, and I can't think of that Knicks GM's name, but Troy Weaver must have some information on him because he just flat out got over on him. It feels like, and it seems like, and it's not just the fan base that feels that way. Nationally, a lot of people are like, "What in the fuck?" And I get that space, but holy shit, man!
Yeah, I mean, you trade, let alone Jalen Duran, but I mean, I mean, Kemba Walker's not what he was. I mean, I know he didn't come, but I know we signed him off and all that stuff. But I mean, even just to let him go. But I mean, even in that second trade, with them, we got Alec Burks, who's honestly I don't know where he's been recently in the past few years. I know he was a very decent player. I mean, I don't watch the NBA. I mean, I know you don't either that often.
No.
More probably just because the Pistons haven't been good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, Nerlens Noel, a young center, power forward center coming in. But I'll have to look up Alec Burks. But last time back when I remember at least when he played for the Jazz. I don't remember how long ago that was. He was pretty decent. He was the number 2 guy. He was there the same. I think yeah, I guess that would have been a while ago. Yeah, so he was with the Jazz from 11 to 18. So, I'm trying to look up what his stats are because I don't want to. Okay, yeah, I mean he'll be a good utility player. I mean a decent utility player. I mean he averaged 12 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. So I mean he's gonna be probably off the bench, but you can't really complain about that off of probably getting. It doesn't only getting what. I'm trying to see how much time he's getting. I don't know. I can't find it right now. But it's still, I mean, if he's 12 points a game isn't bad for someone coming off the bench.
No, not at all. So, one of the things I was really impressed, I seen a picture of, and it might have come from the Pistons, I don't remember, of Cade today, and like he has put on so much muscle that I thought it was a Photoshop deal at first. And then I seen whoever it was from, a credible source. So he's bulked up. And Ivy and Duran, we'll see, but it's the first time I've been excited about them in a while. I like the Red Wings coach. I like that hire. I like the way the direction that Stevie Y's taking them, and I still think they're 3 or 4 years away. But I feel like the Pistons, if these guys play up to their potential, I think they might make a 7 or 8 seed this year if everybody stays healthy, and go. And the Lions, I think, are finally in the right direction. We'll see about that.
By the way, everyone, this is the second year in a row he said that. So,
and I did say that last year,
I can go back on video evidence and pull that out.
Oh, I'm freely admitting it, but this year.
Oh, you don't know what I never went back and looked for?
What's that?
The Mitch McGary bowling thing. I still gotta do that because I'm still gonna pull it up and prove you wrong.
Oh, I believe you. I just didn't know that that's what he was doing.
No, because we never talked about this on this show.
Oh, we never have. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
I know we never talked about it.
Yep, because I remember this is something we got into last time, and I just remembered it when you said. I don't remember what you said that triggered it, but I was like, oh no, because I said this is the second season in a row that you said the Lions. But we have, and I'm gonna find it.
Find it. So
I'm gonna wait till I finish what I'm doing though.
So, and finally, the Tigers, right? We're seeing a little bit of hope. It's probably too little, too late again. Injuries have been a big problem this year, but I was reading something this morning.
Fuck Alavila.
Admitted he made some mistakes, and he didn't name it. He didn't say it out loud, but I got the implication that he was talking about Baez and Meadows this year, that he'd like to do some things over, he said.
I'm not.
The Tigers are the only one that I'm not happy with their direction, and mostly Avila, right? And mostly because what's he been at it now, 6-7 years?
Avila, I mean, he's been in the Tigers thing for
a long time, but as GM,
yeah, I think
Dombrowski left, right?
Yeah, then he got it.
So he's the only one that I'm not happy with the way the direction of the team is going. And but I also think that, with the plethora of injuries we've had this year, it's not fair to judge him this year. But on the flip side is he's had long enough, and his free passes are gone.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I don't really think he got the Austin Meadow trades wrong. I mean, I honestly don't think he got anything truthfully wrong. I just don't think Meadows has been hurt.
No,
I mean, you can't really kill somebody over an injury.
right,
And I truthfully think, I think with Baez is Baez. I mean, it's always who he's been. It's never what we're seeing now isn't what we haven't seen from him in the past. We just not. He's just not producing. I mean, obviously he's not producing as much, but I'm talking about his swing and a miss or home run power. It's either I'm hitting the ball out of the goddamn ballpark or I'm striking out.
right.
And I mean, look at he's picked up. I mean, I don't really neither one of those tricks. I think it's more just this team didn't come out ready to play. Didn't do enough in the offseason, whether that's on AJ Hinch or themselves. I mean,
Right.
I personally, I don't want to put it on it because it sounds like an excuse. But I mean, you had the MLB lockout this offseason. They only had 2 weeks of spring training, a month, I think, 2 weeks to 4 weeks. I mean, so there's.
So did the other teams, though.
No, I know, and you know what, dude? Fuck the Yankees. I don't care about the Yankees. The Yankees play in the tiniest ballpark anywhere. My 2-year-old niece could hit a home run out of that fucking baseball field.
What they're doing is impressive, though. I don't care if they're playing.
But look, they're hitting home runs to Oppo Field, right field, in fucking Yankee Stadium, which is fucking like 210.
I know.
It's smaller than a fucking softball field. You know what? They didn't hit those fucking home runs when they came to fucking Comerica Park, did they? No.
Correct.
But the Yankees are fucking cheaters. They
but
set up
listen, all their games, the other teams, they're not moving the fence back for the other team. Everybody's got that same opportunity to reach that short porch.
Putting it on here right now. Yankees get kicked out of the fucking playoffs in the first round. Guarantee it.
Oh, Yankees are winning it all this year.
Shut the fuck up. No, they aren't. Yankees are fucking choke artists since the early 2000s. Yankees have been choke artists.
Aaron Judge
is a steroid taking freak. So
Aaron Judge is going to make people forget about Miguel Cabrera. They are going. He is going to be the Babe Ruth. I can't even do it.
You are high as fuck. I know you're high as shit. Aaron Judge is already like way behind what Cabrera was at. I'm pretty sure, honestly.
I'm sure he is too.
Remember,
he might be ahead in home run numbers, but not in the thing that was always impressive about Cabrera was that top to bottom, power, average, opposite field.
The only thing I'm giving fucking credit to Aaron Judge about is his fucking numbers. I didn't realize his numbers are this fucking good already. Holy shit.
Yeah.
This dude honestly might win the Triple Crown this year.
He may.
The dude's got fucking 29 home runs and 60 RBIs.
Oh, shit. I was thinking he was at 35 already for some reason. It must have been 25 last week. But, yeah, he's on pace to have a hell of a season.
Jesus Christ. What's fucking... I want to look up and see what fucking old Vlad Jr.'s fucking numbers are, because I know he was up there too. Sorry guys. Oh yeah, he fell off. I mean, RBI wise he's still up there, but home run wise he wasn't. I remember it was him and Vlad Jr. and him were going back and forth for a while, but no, that's that. Honestly, I didn't know his stats were that good this season. He's still trash. And
I'm not a Yankees fan either, but what Aaron Judge has done has been impressive, and I think I read that they're off to the hottest start since the '84 Tigers, if I remember right. So and they were 35-5 or whatever it was.
Yeah. How about this? Shoni Otani falling off.
Yep.
Knew that was going to happen. I mean, he's not really falling off. He has 18 home runs, but then 50 RBIs.
I
But
just think in today's modern sports, it's almost impossible to do two things at that high a level, and he's done them pretty well when he's been able to stay healthy, right? But I think that has a lot to do with why he's had some health issues. The guy's a tremendous athlete, but this isn't Japan, where you got one or two great guys that might make a roster here on the team where everybody is good. So I think sooner or later he's going to have to make a choice. Am I going to pitch or am I going to play in the field?
yeah, just want to point out though, Aaron Judge only has a 281 batting average, and it's pretty fucking trash because about 90-year-old Miguel Cabrera has like a 308. So that's why Cabrera is going to always be better.
280's not trash though.
I know it's not, but I'm just saying, 90-year-old Miguel Cabrera has a 308.
Right.
Fuck you, Aaron Judge. Fuck the Yankees. Anywho, I was gonna say something else about that, but I don't remember where I was gonna go with it. I did not do what I wanted to do, but you should talk about something real quick.
So I think we're at like 56, 57 days till Michigan's first ball game.
59. 59. Yeah, it's 59. Thank you.
And like we've talked about before, I don't want to wish the summer away, but
I do at this point.
Another couple weeks, so we'll start getting tidbits here and there about what's going on. And excuse me, sounds like Ronnie Bell's back to 100%. Looks great. And speaking of football, Hunter and I have talked about this a little bit back and forth. If you're on TikTok, you need to follow Grace Harbaugh. It's his 22-year-old daughter. The Harbaugh family, including Grandpa Jack, Jim's dad, they're in I forget the name of the town, but they're in Sicily right now on vacation. And Grace has made a dozen videos up of vacation gym and airport gym, and they're fucking gold, right? Did you see the one of him planking in the hotel lobby?
Yeah, we're doing the workout. Yeah. My favorite one's fucking Eminem one though. That's the best. That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm sitting here trying to find right now without having to log into TikTok. But
yeah, and Jim Harbaugh, worth whatever it is, $40-50 million, it's got a $1,200 Cub Cadet Home Depot special and mows his own fucking lawn, which just, I guess, thinking about it, it shouldn't amaze me, but it amazes me.
Yeah. Okay, I found it. Hang on. I just gotta. Let me do this.
There's quite a bit in there, and in the last couple of videos, Grace has shown up as mostly her, like her outfits, fit check, typical TikTok bullshit, right?
Yeah, as soon as I started following her, that's when she started posting that shit, and I was like, awesome. I'm gonna unfollow you now.
but the stuff that she picked, they were at a 12-hour delay, and he's curled up next to the airport window, sleeping, watching planes. Yeah. And it's funny. You get it. Like, I like to read the comments, right? And there are so many people. Like, I bet I read 100 variations of this. I'm a Buckeye fan, but man, I love this shit. This is I've hated Harbaugh for 12 years, and now I really like him. So, it's kind of like the Brady thing when Brady threw the Super Bowl trophy.
Oh yeah,
3/4 of the country that hate him now likes him and thinks he's the GOAT. When there was really no argument for it before, but he did something. He left the Patriots. All of a sudden, his personality was allowed to shine, or he chose to let it shine, whatever it was. So
yeah, either way. I mean, I'll play this video real quick since I finally figured out. I just remembered how to do what I did last time. Give me a second here. Do this. Yes. I mean to mute us. Oops, that's the wrong video.
You didn't pull up your Pornhub, did you?
Whoa. All right, well, never mind. Is it pulling it up yet?
It was there for a second.
No, was it there?
No.
All right, I quit. I don't know what it's doing now. Oh, that's not. Wow, is that messed up? It's not supposed to do that. Hang on. You can keep talking while I. All right. Anyways, never mind about that. I can't. Some technical difficulties here. More probably on my part, just being dumb.
So Grace Harbaugh, worth a follow
Yeah.
on TikTok.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if she doesn't produce another gym vacation video, man, the 5 or 6 or whatever it is that are on there are highly entertaining, and the comments are gold too. So worth a quick look. For some out of the ordinary content that you just don't usually see. It's just from these little blurbs. He appears just as quirky and everyday as anybody else. So kind of
Dude,
entertaining.
I will 100% say this as a Michigan fan. Jim Harbaugh is a fucking weird motherfucker. I mean,
Oh yeah,
and like I don't hate it at all because to me,
right.
I'm fucking weird. Everyone's fucking weird, but he just like you said, his quirks, and I love it. But his quirks and everything, it's like he wakes up every day and is like, I mean, like from the time he got here, from what the milk, he wakes up and has a glass of milk and a steak for breakfast every day.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Right.
Or that's all he eats, or I mean, that's just who he is, and that's just how he
Yeah.
always has.
So it's
And
funny. There was one video. It was one of the first ones I think where somebody said, and Grace responded is like, "How many takes did this take?" And she's like, "I swear on my life, this is my dad every single minute of every day. This is just who he is."
yeah,
And it is. If you follow him for a while, and he's just a quirky out there dude, and he just is, and that's an endearing trait to me. It's yeah, it makes for some easy fodder for our rivals, but whatever. I think he's one of those guys that half the time he doesn't know what's going to come out of his mouth before it does.
oh yeah. I mean, that's not like so. That's not a bad thing as long as you don't say anything that's going to get you in trouble, which he hasn't yet. I mean, really.
Right.
I mean, bulletin board material last year at Big Ten Media Days, and he said, "I'm going to die. We're going to beat Ohio State or die trying." And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just that dude. Let me spend a day with Jim Harbaugh, please.
Right.
But yeah. I had one to. Did you see? Quick, one last. Did you see the video of John Daly hitting a fucking ball over the highway?
I did not.
Yeah, I just seen it on Twitter, and dude. In fact, John Daly is still around. I mean, now he's just around because of his drinking and smoking, and that's the only reason he's being brought back around. But did you also see what he said? That he said if that PGA Tour would have let him golf with no shoes, cigar in his mouth, and a 30 rack of beer, he would have won like multiple Masters and shit. Did you read that?
And I didn't, but I believe it. There's some people that bowl better with 6 in them, that golf better, that hoop better, that whatever. And
That's me with cornhole.
And there you go. There's some people that just doesn't. That's just who he is. And he's cost himself a lot of money, right, by not conforming. But his personality is my type of personality, and I've always loved him because he's not afraid to fucking stick his finger up and say, "Hey, I am who I am, and if you don't like it, kiss my ass."
Yeah.
Never been PC, never really gave a fuck about anything, but he wanted to go out, drink some beer, smoke a couple cigars or cigarettes, whatever his flavor has been at that current moment, and fucking just nail some golf balls. And that's what he's done, and now, with your TikToks and YouTubes and everything, you see, like, I'll see a video of him. I seen a video of him just crush a ball off a beer can. He was playing with his son.
Oh yeah, yep.
Just the last couple days, I forget exactly where they were, what they were doing, but he'd made some smart ass joke, and I mean, I love that shit. I'll eat it up.
Yeah, no, he actually plays down here quite a bit. Actually, like in my area, I know one of my buddies uh was golfing somewhere down here, and he's ran into him twice already. Like it's like posted pictures on Snapchats with him, and just met him at just seeing him at the golf course. I mean, so anytime I know he's down here, he golfs down here.
Right, right.
Um, I mean, that's all he does really. He's golf, drink, and smoke cigars. I think
Yep.
that's the John Daly everyone knows though now.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, John Daly hitting drivers over a highway and onto a high school football field in Akron, Ohio.
Wow.
Just nonchalantly.
That's nuts.
Just parked in a parking lot, just driving fucking balls into it across a fucking 4-lane highway. That's funny. No shoes on, no nothing.
Yep.
But all right, guys, I think that's gonna probably do it for this show. I didn't realize it had been 52 minutes. I will we'll hopefully we can stay on track now. I know we say that about every episode.
Yeah, we've been on that track. You know, we're going to hit a little of a dead zone in sports here, in the middle of July to the end of July is always a little bit really, you just got baseball going on, right? And college football hasn't started. Preseason NFL hasn't started yet. But yeah, we're less than 2 months away from the first game, and once we get 30 days, and then once fall practice starts, we'll be in high gear. But we'll see you before then, and go blue.
Yeah, go blue, and I'll make sure you go follow. We are on YouTube now, so go give us a check out on there. Go give us a subscribe, and go follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
good day, y'all. And